Let's start with a cross tabulation. Again, we go to the Analyze item in the menu, and we go back to Descriptive Statistics, and there's an option for crosstabs over here. Highlight that, and now you have, again, as you remember, the variables in the data set are on the left, and you need to move the variables you want to put in the crosstab to the right. So highlight the variables that you want, and click on the right arrow, and it'll come to the right side. So here I've moved gender to the row variable. Gender is perfect for crosstab because it's categorical. And the other variable I'm going to put in the crosstab is a question called, would you recommend national to a friend interested in insurance? This is also a categorical variable with two values, yes and no. And so we are going to look at a cross tabulation with these two variables in it. Now, the only other thing that you want to do here before you click OK is click on the statistics button, and you specify whatever statistics you want. The only one you really need to look at is chi-square, so make sure that box is checked. You click on continue. The other thing you want to do is click on cells, because that allows you to specify exactly what the table shows. And what you want to see, of course, besides the observed values in each cell, you want to see the percentages of the row percentages and the column percentages, because this will help you in interpreting the data if you find an association between the variables. So let's click these two, and we'll talk about how that helps in interpretation in a bit. Click continue, click OK, and you have a cross tabulation open up. Again, here you have the summary in the first table. It tells you that gender is cross tabulated with this other variables. Would you recommend national? And there are 261 valid responses, a few missing responses, so that gives you the overall statistics for the table. Now, the real crosstab is over here. This tells you with gender in the rows, male and female, and would you recommend national in the columns, yes or no. I'm going to get into this in just a moment, but before we go there, let's look at the third table, which is actually the place where you should look first of all. So in this third table, which is labeled chi-square tests, what this tells you is the result of a test of the hypothesis that the variables are independent. So in other words, the null hypothesis is that the two variables in the crosstab are independent. The alternative is that they are not independent, and the test that you need to use here is a chi-square test. The thing that you need to look at in this table is the column that says asymptotic significance two-sided, because this gives you the p-value for the chi-square test of independence. The only number that you really need to look at is this one over here, which is 0.469. This tells you the p-value for the chi-square test that you conduct to test the independence of the two variables. Remember, the rule always is that if the p-value is less than 0.05, then you reject the null hypothesis. 0.05, of course, is the level of alpha. You can choose different levels of alpha. You can choose 0.01, 0.05, and 0.10. In this case, we'll use 0.05. And here the p-value is 0.469. So if you compare this to 0.05, you see that it is obviously not less than 0.05, and in fact it is much greater. So you cannot reject the hypothesis that the variables are independent. Remember, you could only reject the hypothesis if this number, this p-value, was less than 0.05. In this case, it is not. Therefore, you cannot reject the hypothesis. In other words, what the chi-square test is telling you is that the variables are independent. The other thing I wanted to point out that is not relevant here, but it may be in some analysis that you conduct, is this footnote A. Footnote A is kind of important because it tells you if the chi-square test is valid. And the chi-square test may not be valid if any of the expected frequencies in any of the cells is less than 5. In this case, the minimum expected count is 14.14, so this doesn't apply to us. But if you do run a crosstab and the expected frequency is less than 5 in any cell, you'll get a warning here. It'll tell you the number of cells that have expected count less than 5. And the idea is that the chi-square test is not really applicable or not really valid, strictly speaking, in those situations. And what you would need to do then is reduce the number of cells in the crosstab, perhaps by combining some of the rows or combining some of the columns, and then rerunning the test so that the expected value would meet the minimum criterion of 5. Any case, this is not something we need to worry about here. What this is telling you, as I was saying a minute ago, is that there is no difference between the variables. That is, there is no association between the two variables. Therefore, what you see in the crosstab over here really is not relevant or interesting. In other words, you don't really need to look at a crosstab anymore. However, for the sake of the example and for the sake of understanding what these numbers mean, let's look at the crosstab and see how to interpret the data here. So when you go to the crosstab and you look at the first group, which is male, the first row shows you the count. This shows you the number of people who are male and who fell into the first column, that is, who said yes to the question, would you recommend national? So 124 people, males, said yes, 14 males said no, for a total of 138 males in the sample. The next row tells you within the gender group of males what percent fell into each of these two columns. So percent within gender tells you that 89.9% of males fell into the first column, that is, they would recommend national, and 10.1% said no, they would not recommend national. So this is only for males. All right. And the way we would use this information is that if we wanted to see what the relationship was between the variables in the rows and the columns, we would look at this number, 89.9, and compare it with its corresponding number in the next group, in the female group, for example. So, for example, here 89.9% of males said yes, they would recommend national. But if you go to the female group, 87% of females said they would recommend national. The numbers are pretty similar to each other in terms of percentages, so that shows again that there is no difference between males and females. At least statistically speaking, there is no difference between males and females in terms of their likelihood of recommending national. That basically reinforces your earlier conclusion. So that's how to interpret the row percentages. The next number in each in this group here, 53.7, is the percent within the column. So in other words, it looks at the total of 231 people who said yes and says 53% of these people who said yes were males and 46% were females. If you wanted to use the column percentages to interpret the relationship between the two, you would compare, for example, in the yes group, the percent of males with the percent of males in the no group. So 53.7% of people in the yes group were male, 46.7% of the people in the no group were male. And even though these numbers look different, but statistically speaking, they're not, because the chi-square test has told us that this is not a statistically significant relationship. So there is a difference, but not large enough to be statistically significant. In any case, you would reach the same conclusion in both. If you look at the row percentages, men are slightly more likely to say yes than women are, 89.9 to 87%. And if you look at the column percentages, men are more likely to say yes than no. So 53.7% of the yes group are men, and 46.7% of the no group are men.